أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا بالقاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين وأصحابهم المنتجبين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. صدق الله العلي العظيم وصدق رسول الكريم وصدق مولانا أمير المؤمنين صلوات. I seek Allah's protection from Shaitan, the cursed one, and I start in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the most kind and most merciful. Indeed, all praises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the master, owner and controller of all the worlds, and praises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has guided us to this right path of Islam, and had He not shown us of this true way, would have been of those who are lost. Our choicest greetings to our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his pure family and their eximious companions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I have presented the verses from Surah Al-Qadr, which is the 97th Surah of the Holy Quran, and no doubt everybody is familiar and knows it by heart. But before I start, I beg your indulgence, because I would like to remember 4 specific individuals today. One, and they are all in one shape or form have been my mentors. One is Al-Hajj Marhum Mullah Asghar Ibn Jafar, Marhum Hazrat Dr. Abdul Hamid Ganjavian, Marhum Mullah Fida Hussain Khaki, and Marhum Razabai Kanji. All of these people have given me something very special, and which was very not only special, but it was precious to them, and that was their time. So for them and all our marhumin, Surah Al-Mubarak Al-Fatiha. Allahumma aghfirhum warhamhum. So I would like to just carry on by dealing with first the fact that this Surah Al-Qadr, which is surah about power, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Indeed, we have revealed it or sent it down on this night of Qadr, the night of power. And the Mufassirin are unanimous that what it refers to is the coming down of the Holy Quran in this holy month of Ramadan. Laylatul Qadr khayru min alfi shahr, it is greater than 1,000 months. And so the surah carries on and explains to us that it is in this night of Qadr that Allah sends down the angels and Ruh, and they bring down all the commands and orders for the following year. And indeed, there is peace and tranquility throughout the whole night. And it leaves us with the thought, if, as we are told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the angels and Ruh are bringing down all these orders and commands for the year to come, who are they bringing it to? And our Mufassirin, we are undoubted, we are absolutely certain. It comes down to none other than our 12th Imam, Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. Now, before I carry on, I just want to bring 2 points out. The first one is that it is the holy month of Ramadan, and we are fasting, and some people feel greater pangs of hunger than others. And I recall one marhum friend who one day, it was in the month of Ramadan, and I said to him, well, shall we go to this meeting? And he said to me, Taha, you know, I've got to go home. If I don't eat, I'm going to die. So just in respect to him, and just I would like to share this. And this is a saying, or this is what is written. And it says that, oh, by the way, this inscription was found on the pyramids in Egypt. It says, humans live on 1/4 of what they eat. Humans live on 1/4 of what they eat. On the other 3/4 lives, on the other 3/4 lives, on the other 3/4, their doctors live off. So no compliment about the doctor, but this was written 3800 BC, not like our doctors now who have all the answers. Now, the second point is, yesterday, when I finished the majlis, I said that when we come to that point when we leave this earth, I should have Ya Ali on my lips. And a very dear brother of mine, and I have great respect for him and great fondness, he came to me and he said, you know, Brother Taha, it was good, but what we should say last should be La ilaha illallah. And I say, I agree. But I want to share with you the reason why I say what I do say. We are told, and I have no doubt whatsoever, that anybody, whether he is Shia, Sunni, Kafir, Catholic, Methodist, you name it, Jewish, anybody in this world, when they reach the moment when they're leaving this earth, they see none other than Ali ibn Abi Talib. And I am saying to you, brothers, in my belief, by me saying, Ya Ali, I am saying to him, Ya Abul Hassan, I am recognizing you, and I can only recognize you because I've already said, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. And this is also reinforced in us, in that dua which we are required or requested to recite during the ghaibah of the 12th Imam, which is in Mafatihul Jinan. It takes about 30 minutes the first time, and if you read it frequently, it takes not more than 12 minutes. So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, from the first majlis, or for the first lecture, when we talked about the holy month of Ramadan, and the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought Ramadan for us, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you achieve taqwa. You develop that protection of not against doing things which are not right. Now this word taqwa appears 251 times in the Holy Quran. And it is, as we said before, it is to protect us from hellfire, and also to protect us from those things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to keep away, and we discussed that yesterday. And the taqwa part will come in a second. If you remember yesterday, I said it takes about 18 days or more to bring about a change. So from the start of Ramadan, the 18 days, we have then the 19th, the 20th, the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd nights. And these Laylatul Qadr that we're talking about, 19, 21, 23rd, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, you've had the practice, you've been to the gym, you are now going to get an extra working out to build you and develop you so that when the holy month is finished, your battery is fully charged and you are ready to charge forward on to preparing for Muharram and Safar. That is how I see it. If you see it different, then that's fantastic as well. Because when you embrace Islam, it is a voyage of discovery. You find your way, you find your own depth in this sea of Islam. Now, Ayatollah Murtaza Mutahhari quite brings out a very interesting point. He says, taqwa can be of two parts. You can have taqwa by saying, oh no, England is a bad place. It isn't, I'm just saying. And so I'm going to go away from here. I'm going off. I'm going to Iran. I'm going to Iraq. I'm going to Najaf. I'm going to Qum. I'm going to lock myself up in the Hawza. I don't want to have any of these temptations. Say, fine. That is easy taqwa. But if you say to yourself, I'm going to live in England, I am going to travel on the underground, I am going to see the posters, I am going to read the newspapers, I am going to look at the television, but at all points when the situations arise, I am going to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I am going to keep away from this ma'asiyah to the level best that I can. That is taqwa at a higher level. And that is how he's explaining it to us. And I quote him. He says, true perfection, true taqwa, lies in a person's freedom to do wrong, and yet he chooses to refrain from sinning without practically imposing anything on himself. That is the level which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings out to us in Surah Najm when He says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Fadana fatadalla faqana qaba qawsayni aw adna. Allah says, my Prophet reached so close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he was close as two bows of arrows coming close. You cannot be the Prophet, but at least you can try, we can try and get as close as we can. How can any gathering not enunciate that saying of, or that request of our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? When he says, Zayyinu majalisukum bidhikri Ali ibn Abi Talib. And here is our Imam in Nahjul Balagha. In Khutbah 189 of Nahjul Balagha, he says, فَإِنَّ التَّقْوَى فِي الْيَوْمِ الْحِرْضِ وَالْجُنَّةِ وَفِي غَدٍ طَرِيقُ إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ. For today, taqwa, piety is a shield, it's a protection. And for tomorrow, it is the pathway to Jannah. Words which we need to consider and think about. But just, how do we explain this taqwa and what do we mean? Imagine this, you have a straight line. On one end of the line is the word stupidity, idiocy, carelessness. On the other side, at the other extreme of the line, you have slyness, double standards, all things horrible. And what you are trying to do, or what I'm trying to do with taqwa, is to come right into the middle between these two extremes, which I would call wisdom and taqwa. as Sayyid Hussain Nasr in his book Ideals and Realities of Islam on the subject, he explains it slightly differently. He says, take that perfection or taqwa to be the center of a circle. And then plot your progress. How far are you from the center? The further you go away towards the circumference, the further away you are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the closer you come to the center, the closer you are coming to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in Surah Al-A'raf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala points out one of the wonderful things when people embrace and absorb taqwa. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Innal ladhina taqaw idha massahum ta'ifun min ash-shaytan tadhakkaru fa idha hum mubsirun. And when those who have taqwa and an evil thought from shaitan comes and tries to get to them, they immediately become wary and be careful, and they remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah promises them that He will set them on the right path. And I cannot but finish this part of it by a direct quote from Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi in his Mathnawi, book number 1 and story number 3. When you read it, the third story is very easy to miss it, as the line is so stuck in between. Maulana says, when self-interest appears, virtue becomes hidden. Virtue becomes hidden. 100 veils from the heart to the eye. You forget everything because your self-interest is involved. You might say, well, how does that leave us with our gym? The community has lots of clever people and a lot of wits. And somebody said to me, well, it's very good of you. You're talking about the gym. And as far as I am concerned, we've only reached the treadmill. I said, that's absolutely right. We have reached the treadmill, which is salah. Absolutely crucial. But he said, you know, there are two things that are missing. One, when you go to the gym, you have to pay. So, what is this payment to Allah for this gym? And he said, second thing, you know, you guys stand there and talk. You have not been to a gym, so you don't know. He said, you don't go to a gym and you just get onto the treadmill or whatever it is, the cross trainer. See, you have to warm up first. I said, have you finished? Thank you very much. You're very kind. I said, now you want to know what is the price for the gym of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I said, do you know Allah's mercy? And this is the beauty about Islam, my brothers. I said to him, once you say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah, Aliyu Waliyullah, Wasiyu Rasulillah, you have got your life membership. It's guaranteed. You don't have to pay anything anymore. Whether you go to the gym or you don't go to the gym, the choice is yours. You have paid the subscription. It's a life membership. The difference between that life, this world's or Jamaat's life membership and the life membership that Islam is giving you is this. That life membership does not stop when you die. It carries on until you reach heaven. And I can say that with certainty and without any contradiction, because I remind you that moment in Medina when Bibi Fatima alayha salam was sitting with her father, our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And when he told her about what was going to happen in Karbala to Imam Hussain alayhi salam, and when she asked him, well, who will be there to cry for my son when I am not there? And when the Holy Prophet said that there will rise a community which will remember him to eternity, what was the promise she made the Prophet? She said, in that case, I give the promise that I will not step into Jannah until each and every one of these mu'mineen are in Jannah. So I'm saying to you, you have subscribed for life and for Jannah. It's not just, this is not just to whatever here gym that we're talking about. So you have already paid the subscription. You want to take the gym? You want to use it? The choice is yours. La ikraha fid din. There's no compulsion in Islam. You've been shown the way. Now he said, well, what about the second point? When you go to the gym, you got to warm up. I said, I'm really surprised at that question that you are asking me. It is obvious. He said, what do you mean it is obvious? I said, what is the first thing that you do when you get ready for salah? Forget salah. For anything that, forget a mu'min. And we don't want to digress. I don't want to digress into mu'min and just Muslim. Anyone who has accepted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in each and everything that we do, what are we told to do? Is to recite Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I said, what? He said, well, I said, do you know? Do you not know that hadith? That the whole of the Quran is encompassed within the Surah Al-Fatiha. And the whole of Surah Al-Fatiha is completely condensed in the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And the whole of the Bismillah is within the Ba. And the whole of the Ba is in the Nuqtatul Ba, which is the dot. And we all know there's none other than that dot but Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. That is part of your process of warming up. But I want you to think one more step laterally. And that is when we are told that the whole thing is within that dot under the ba. All sorts of things. I want you, especially my young friends, to experiment. When you go home today, take a piece of paper, take a pencil, and see if you can write, you can draw a line, you can make any shape without making a dot first. It is impossible. This is the Bismillah to start with. And I said the second part of the warming up exercise, because he said, well, you know, when you warm up, it's a few minutes. You do one thing and then the other. And I said the second part is that you recite the salawat in everything that you do. And no salah is complete without salawat on the Prophet. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. And he said, I said, do you not realize the power of the salawat? He said, I said, that is the warming up. Our sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, tells us that when you do any dua whatsoever, any dua, start by reciting salawat and then do your dua. And dua includes the wajib salat as well. And when you finish it with salawat. And you say, well, fantastic. But what is the rationale? Because Imam says, you are reading the Quran day in, day out. Surah Ahzab. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Verse 56 that is. Of Surah Ahzab. So you have warmed up. And yesterday we talked, and I talked a lot about Salah. The topic is so vast that it is not possible to deal with it. One advice from the late Imam Khomeini, and I just want to link it with, for those who are in the X generation, the oldies, will remember Mao Zedong when he said, "The long march starts with a small step." Imam says, when you start praying, concentration is a problem. But start small pieces. Start concentrating when you recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Start focusing on bit and bit and bit. And eventually you will reach a stage when you will have full concentration in your salat. Now, it's Medina and it's early days of Islam. The Holy Prophet is in Masjid al-Nabawi. He is standing in Namaz Jama'ah. Maybe it is Dhuhr time. Suddenly, the people in Namaz Jama'ah, they hear drums and music and things like that taking place. And they rush out. They're in mid-salah. These are people who are Sahaba. They have seen the Holy Prophet. They are with him. This happens 3 times. Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari reports, and we all know who Jabir is for the benefit of our youngsters. Jabir is that companion of the Holy Prophet, of whom the Holy Prophet told him, "Jabir, you will meet at least 4 of my grandchildren." And he meets even our 4th Imam, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. And if you remember, Jabir is also one of the first Zairs of Karbala and Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Jabir reports, he says, the people left Salah, and when you looked, there were hardly more than 2 or 3 people left. And then the verse in Surah Jum'ah is sent down to us in Surah 62 and verse number 11. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةٌ أَوْ لَحْوًا انفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا قُلْ مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ مِنَ اللَّهْوِ مِنَ التِّجَارَةِ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. Now, you might say, well, what's that the relevance to us today? I am as guilty as you. How many times you are praying, your phone, iPhone, Samsung, Nokia, whatever is the latest phone is there. Often it is flashing and disturbing other people who are praying. And no sooner does the namaz finish, zhup, he's got his mobile and he's checking. Talking about myself. Completely forgetting what our 6th Imam said, that even before you stretch your leg, when the namaz finishes, recite that tasbih, which is tasbih Fatima Zahra Salamullahi alayha. The times have changed, the circumstances have changed. Instead of outside Stanmore drums and music being played to tell you that the banana fritters are ready and the fruit is ready, your mobile is telling you the adverts. Now, this is where taqwa comes. And I want to finish. I'm sorry, Muqsab. I'm just finishing. 2 minutes more. Asant. I want to finish. When you look at the taqwa and the things that we are asked to do, then let's try to subitize it Subitizing is a process in mathematics where you look at numbers and come to a conclusion without actually doing the sums. It should be so ingrained in us, this taqwa and this God wariness, that when we automatically see something which is against the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can just turn away without even focusing or needing a sign, a signpost to say, can I look it up in the fiqh book? Is this halal or this is haram? I'm sorry, we have only reached the treadmill. And the process of treadmill, you've started on it. You can quicken the process, as I told you before. And I tell you, if you have already done that, and your ordinary salah is ready, then turn to Mafatihul Jinan, page 250 to 251. There are extra mustahabbat namaz to be recited in the month of Ramadan. For every night is a different one. Do it. Practice it. Don't wait for the 100 rakat on the 19th, 21st, 23rd. As our fourth Imam Zainul Abidin said, as soon as the month of Ramadan enters, he started praying 1,000 rakats every night, the same way as his grandfather Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib used to practice. So I want to finish by apologizing that in all these 3 sessions we've only reached the treadmill. I was really hoping that today I would have got to the cross trainer, but I haven't, because I think the cross trainer is the Quran. أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا. So, brothers and sisters, let us, through the blessings of the holy month of Ramadan, remember all those who are not with us, all our marhumin. And may Allah grant them maghfirah and make their graves a piece of heaven. Ya Allah, we beg you and beseech you by the blessings of this holy month to grant shifa to all those who are unwell. Ya Allah, to those who are in difficulty, remove their difficulties. Ya Allah, fulfill the wishes of the mu'mineen. Ya Allah, give us the strength and taqwa to carry on practicing in this month of Ramadan and raise us to that higher level so that we are worthy of you and of our Imam alayhi salam. And Ya Allah, when that moment comes, when we are ready to leave this earth, we have on our lips, Ya Ali, Ya Ali, Ya Ali. Surah Al-Mubarak al-Fatiha.